Hey guys, it's Lindsay, and I've traveled all over Africa, North America, Asia, and Europe without a plan. As in, I made it my schedule day to day. If you've watched any of my YouTube videos, you probably know by now I am a fan of making things up as I go along and not planning my trips. But if you are a person who lives and dies by an itinerary, you might look at my travel style and think, how is that even possible? So in this video, I'm going to systematically break down the way that I never plan anything ever, so you guys can do it as well, because I basically do the exact same thing everywhere I am, every time. Here we go. Step 1, preliminary research. I was a huge slacker in school, so not surprisingly, I am a huge slacker when it comes to planning trips. So ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the Lazy Man research tool. Google image. Yup, basically my way of researching a destination is typing the name in Google and then looking up Google images for it. But before you knock it, you should try it because you can learn so much this way. Let's say you type in Tampa, Florida in Google. Switch to images and see what pops up. From these images alone, you can see it's a cityscape. There's a beach. Okay, drag down more. Busch Gardens. You're starting to get an idea of a few things you can do in the area. At this point from those images, you've probably realized that Tampa looks like a warm, tropical place with a downtown area. So now you have some sort of idea of something about where you're going. Next, look at a map. What does the place you're going to look like, even if you don't understand what any of these city names mean? Becoming familiar with them will help you later on when you're on the ground and you're talking to people and they're referencing places and you're able to connect some dots because you've seen the city names on maps that you've already looked at. You're basically giving yourself a frame of reference that you can recall later on when you're actually in the place. Now the last and final step of preliminary research is a very quick and minimal Google search. You want to look at things like cool things to do in Tampa, weird things to do in Tampa, cheap things in Tampa, free things in Tampa. This is also the time you want to quickly look at Yelp or TripAdvisor for anywhere that stands out very, very highly rated among a big group of people. I will also use sites that I trust like Thrillist or Atlas Obscura because I know that the content is curated to things that I personally like. The research phase should only be done to support and prepare yourself to what you discover and learn when you're on the ground. Speaking of on the ground, step 2, show up and talk to everyone. Talk to the barista at Starbucks, talk to your Uber driver, talk to the girl checking you in at your hostel or hotel, talk to the ballet guys, talk to every single person that you possibly can because this strange land that you just entered, they live here. This is their home. They are a resource to you. Talk to them. Now, obviously, if you're at a restaurant and the server is completely overwhelmed and inundated with a million tables and she's too busy to talk to you, or if you're at a bar and the bartender seems to be fighting with his girlfriend on his cell phone in the corner, do not force conversation on people. Like, that is not what I'm telling you to do. But if you feel like chatting is appropriate, start a conversation. Step 3 is don't make it about you. Lots of people, travelers included, take conversation as an opportunity to talk about themselves. It's a completely normal and natural human thing to do. And it starts off with you maybe asking someone a few questions about themselves, and then the next thing you know, you're telling a story about you and your day. What happened at the airport, a fight that you got in with your boss, something that's about you and not about the person that you're relating to or talking with. So what I want you to do, and what I've found personally to be true, is to look at everybody and understand that every single person you meet is better at something than you. And my goal, your goal, should be to figure out what that is. The way you do this is by asking questions and being genuinely interested. This is exactly how I found that secluded little beach in Tampa and First Friday going on in St. Pete. I asked the girl who works valet at my hotel if she knew of any good beaches in the area. She said the main one was kind of a far drive, but she knew a tiny little one just down the road that would be secluded and a perfect spot. I Google imaged the beach that she recommended, and sure enough, it was beautiful. So I hopped in an Uber to go to the beach. Then in the Uber, I started talking to the driver, and turns out she had just moved to Tampa and had learned all about First Friday and was super excited about it going on in the area, and she was the one who had told me about First Friday in St. Pete. I got back to my hotel after the beach, I looked at First Friday, sure enough it looked awesome, and then I ended up having an amazing night. Every little clue leads to the next. And you can do this anywhere for any duration. So a quick note here is if you do not speak the local language of where you're going, you are obviously at a huge disadvantage because you cannot talk to every single person that you meet. That is why staying in hostels or popular guest houses with other travelers is so important, because instead of every single local that you meet out on the street giving you information, you will be relying more on other travelers in your accommodation. But that still doesn't mean you shouldn't try to talk to every single person. So that's it. The way I find the most amazing things that I do on my trip is listening and talking to other people and being open to the opportunities that they present. And I think that when you start to learn how to talk to people and to really listen and to be open, you'll end up on some pretty amazing adventures too. So guys, I hope you liked this video, and I have some really exciting news. This is gonna probably be one of my last travel basic videos for a little while. I don't know if you've noticed, but they've gotten a little few and far between. I have been working on my newest series and I am so excited to put it out. It's pretty labor intensive actually. There's a lot of filming that goes along with it. There's a whole lot editing that goes along with it, but I'm hoping to have it, if not by next week, then by hopefully the week after, and I will continue on putting out my new series from here on out. So thanks so much for watching my videos, and yeah, new series coming so soon.